What's good, Seahawks fans? Thanks for hanging out with us here on this Wednesday afternoon on this live edition of Seahawks Today by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here. Thanks for joining us over this next hour. We'll catch up to speed with the latest Seattle Seahawks news and rumors you need to know. We'll be talking about Geno Smith, Leonard Williams, Jason Peters, and more. Plus, we'll have a little stock up, stock down. We'll tell you who's trending the right direction and the wrong direction for your Seattle Seahawks. And, as always, we'll have a live Q&A mailbag as well. Use hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get on the mailbag portion of the show. As you guys file in, get this show started. Shout out your city. We'll shout you out as we get things going here. We're on with you a little bit early today. No Smitty. He is on a little early Thanksgiving vacation, but don't worry. He's going to be back in time for kickoff on Sunday. And an old friend of ours is back in the house today. Seahawks! Seahawks!
What's up, 12?
Trizzy Trace, welcome back.
It
Long
is
time
so
no see.
good. So good to be back with the Seahawks fans, Tyler. Feels good to be back.
Welcome back. Good choice in shirt today.
Oh, you knew. I mean, when you have this duo, we got to be looking fly, you know?
Trizzy Trace and TJ, the blue polo.
The blue polo gang, baby.
The blue polo gang. Good to be here. Beta YT in the house as well already. He's the one that looks like the only one that's here so far. Beta YT saying, Trizzy. Love to see it. Good to see you, Beta YT in Clemson, South Carolina. Daniel in Moses Lake. Good to see you, Daniel. Shout out your city, and we'll shout you out as we get this show on the road here. This is our build-up portion of the show. In just a bit, we'll get to the business of the day, but I appreciate you guys being here with us. The big question that is on the minds, the hearts and minds of Seahawk fans everywhere, is this team legit or not? Are they contenders or pretenders? As I see, Johnny is here from Gulfport, Mississippi. Kayvon from D.C. Beta YT says, come on, everybody. Absolutely. You know, Trizzy, this is an interesting question because the Seahawks are 6-3, but they haven't, I would say, had that outstanding win of sorts. They've been winning enough to get by, which all the wins in the National Football League count the same. Mm-hmm. And I know that has some people hesitant of some sorts. But I would argue that this team hasn't played their best football yet. They haven't peaked, which is always a good thing this time of year.
Absolutely.
I think this team is contenders with that in mind because we haven't seen them play their best football just yet.
Without a doubt. I mean, in the 49ers, you've seen it. They went on a little bit of a lull there. They were scared. That's why they had to go trade for Chase Young. They were scared because the Seahawks went and got Leonard Williams. They knew that they had to make a move as well. I think that this is one of those seasons that the Niners, they're at risk. I think the Seahawks are the team to beat in the NFC West right now.
Are they contenders or pretenders? And Beta YT says contenders. Daniel says contenders. Roland says contenders. Johnny says contenders as well. So the chat saying, for the most part, contenders, it looks like. Jake is just down the road for us in Dallas, Texas. Good to see you, Jake. That's where the Chat Sports Studios is at. Yeah, come on by. Have a drink with us. Drinking a cold Coors Light here. The mountains, you better believe it, they're blue, folks. Got to stay blue. Always. Jake says, let's go Seahawks. Indeed. Let's go Hawks. Let me tell you about today's sponsor, PrizePicks. PrizePicks is the place to go for daily fantasy made easy. Here's how it works, folks. You go to prizepicks.com/CLNS, and you get the choice of two or more players, and it's real simple. You choose either more or less on any given category of sorts. Now, if you've been following along here on Seahawks Today the last few weeks, we have done pretty good when it comes to PrizePicks as of late. Smitty hammered it on Sunday. You guys, if you played with Smitty, we made money. Here's what we're rolling with this week. I got Kenneth Walker to have more than 65.5 rushing yards. Tyler Lockett to have more than 58.5 receiving yards. And then Isaiah Pacheco of the Kansas City Chiefs to have less than 59.5 rushing yards. If all three of those hit, let's say we throw down $20, we're going to make $100 on PrizePicks. So play along with us. PrizePicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS. Tristan Trace is putting it in the chat so you guys can check it out and play PrizePicks with us. Head over to PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Use that code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Daily fantasy made easy. All right, Seahawks and Rams coming up this weekend. The revenge game for Seattle after they fell to the Rams in Week 1. The Seahawks looking to get back after that disappointing loss. Both these teams have gone two different directions since. The Seahawks at 6-3, the Rams at 3-6. We did a whole game preview on the channel yesterday. You can go check that out. But how is this game going to go? Who wins? What's the final score going to be? Chime in, let us know what you think in the chat, and we'll shout you guys out as we break down this game. Trizzy, very interesting matchup here. I know that the Rams have kind of slowed down the last couple weeks after a nice start they had in 2023, but Matthew Stafford's coming back. You still have Aaron Donald involved here. They're at home. No reason why this opponent should be taken lightly.
No, not at all. I mean, they do have some playmakers on both sides of the ball. The Rams, they're just one of those teams that they may be bad, but you can't overlook them. You know, they're not a Cardinals. They're not a Giants. You can't look past them. They're a team that they're going to play it tough. But let's be real. The Seahawks are the better team.
Yeah.
All around, they're the better team.
I agree. And Beta White T agrees. He says 30-13 Seattle. Same score from Week 1, but flipped. JVB Games says 27-17 Seahawks win. Go Seahawks. Jake says, we got this, Seahawks. This is our revenge game. We got this, Seahawks. You can go check out our video from yesterday to see my prediction. But I'll tell you this much. I feel pretty good about the Seahawks' chances to rebound. And, I mean, Jake says 28-21 Seahawks. Trizzy, I would bring this point up as well, that you go up 7-3 on the season. Then you're feeling really good as you head towards the second half of the year. You got that Niners game coming up next week. Cowboys, Niners, Eagles after that. If you go into that stretch with that 7-3 record, that is totally different than if you're going into that stretch 6-4. You feel a whole lot better.
Absolutely, because even if you don't win the division, the wild card is still out for grabs.
Right.
And right now, if things were to the playoffs started tomorrow, you know, it's going to be the Niners or the Seahawks as the winner of the division, but the other team is the wild card team.
Right.
They're the top wild card team, and it's not really close.
Right.
So you got to still go get that win no matter what.
Absolutely. Beta YT says we're a better team, but they executed better in Week 1. That's true. Johnny says 24-14 Hawks. Jake says 28-21 Seahawks win. Who is the MVP of the Seahawks season so far? A lot of different choices to choose from. As you could point to Bobby Wagner with the season he's had, Devon Witherspoon, Kenneth Walker. Who is that guy for the Seattle Seahawks? Name them in that comment section and let me know who it is. We'll shout you out as I'm seeing more score predictions come in. Johnny saying 24-14 Hawks. Rona says, like the video or we ain't winning, boys. Simple as that. Daniel says 37-24 Hawks. If Geno in the offense and the defense play like we know they can play. Wayne says, good to see you, Trizzy.
Good to see you, Wayne.
Yes, absolutely. Wayne, thanks for shouting that out. The MVP, Rona says it's Devon Witherspoon. And Beta says Devon Witherspoon. Isaac says Boye Mafe. That's another good choice as well. He's had 7 straight games with a sack. Dylan says Boye. I still go with Bobby Wagner. Bobby's been the guy that's been consistent each and every week. Boye hasn't played every game, although he's looked good as of late. Devon Witherspoon hasn't played every game. I don't think Bobby Wagner's had one bad game all season. So Bobby would be my choice. But I would say that Trizzy, I would narrow it down probably a defensive player. You could go with probably Bobby, Boye, or Devon Witherspoon would be the MVP of this team.
See, that's exactly what I was going to say, too. I mean, Boye with the 7 straight sacks, nuts. Devon Witherspoon, he's a dog.
Yes.
He is very, very good. But Bobby Wagner, I mean, exactly what you said. Mr. Consistency, baby. Mr. Consistency.
Yeah. And checking in on the chat here. Johnny says Mafe. JVB says Boye Mafe, 7 sacks in a row is crazy. Beta says no denying. Bobby's been great. Glad to have him back. No question about it. So on game days here on Seahawks Today, one of the ways that we rally the troops of sorts is by spamming S in the chat. And I know it's Wednesday, but it's not too early to be getting ready for Sunday. And so what I want to do over this next minute, I want to see as many S's as we can in the chat. And here's what happens. When we get the chat rate popping like that, that gets this video out to more people, helps out the algorithm a bit. And so we got about 47 people watching right now. I know it's still early in the West Coast. We went on a little bit early today. But let's wake up the 12s out there. Let them know that we're live here on Seahawks Today. Spam an S in the chat. I want to see as many S's as we can over this next minute. And Trizzy's going to shout at everybody that says S. I know this is normally Smitty's thing, but don't worry. He will not disappoint. I can tell you that much right now.
All right.
Let's see who's going to be the early MVP for
Let's
today's
go. JVB Games, Isaac, Rona, Mike Nintendo Masker, Jake Ballard, Sydney Caswell, Daniel, Rona, Johnny, Isaac, Beta YouTube, Jake Ballard, Rona, JVB Games, JVB Games, JVB Games, JVB Games.
Faster, pick it up.
Go. Dylan, Isaac, Beta, keep going, quicker, faster. Do you guys want to lose? You guys want to lose to the Lambs? To the Whams? Jake, Beta, Mike, Jake, Beta, Michael, Rona, Jake, keep them going.
Keep going.
Keep them moving. Keep it grooving.
20 seconds to go.
Who's going to be the MVP? Who's going to type
Finish
the most?
strong.
Come on. Go. Michael LaRue, Isaac, but I think JVB Games has an early lead. Keep going. Roy, Mike, Isaac, Beta, Sydney, Beta, Rona, Michael, Sydney, Jake, Isaac, Rona, Roy, Jake, David, Mike, Daniel, Rona, Daniel, Roy, Michael. Keep going!
Nice work, everybody. Trizzy, hard to pick out MVP. There was a lot of good contenders there.
A lot of good contenders. Top 3, I'm going to have to go Rona, JVB Games. Might have to be, man. There were some really good. Jake Ballard, he was typing it a ton.
Yeah.
There's a lot. I mean, everyone's an MVP.
And it worked, folks. The audience jumped up quite a bit, actually.
We love it.
Good work by the 12s out there. If you're ready to start today's show, go ahead and hit the like button. I get 24 likes right now. We need to at least get to 30 before we can get this show started. And I'll take a big beer chug of this Coors Light when we get to 30. It is 5 o'clock somewhere on the East Coast. Yeah, to be exact, but it's not too early for us to be drinking here. The Super Chat menu today, here's what we're offering the 12s. If you are a first-time Super Chatter, you are going to get the Seahawks chant. And don't worry, just because Smitty's not here doesn't mean that we will not have a good Seahawks chant for you. $5 Super Chat will play a little Truth or Dare. Get a chance to see, learn a little bit about me and Trizzy, or make us look ridiculous. Maybe a little bit of both, actually. $10, we're taking shots, and the Patron Zone is here in all its glory. Every $20 Super Chat will do a beer chug. $100 gets you a spot in the Emerald Club, and we'll induct you. The Emerald Club's starting to fill up, getting very close. Might be time to get another boot here. You'll be in the Seahawks Today Hall of Fame with a $100 Super Chat. If we get to 200 today, then a boot will happen. We already have our first Super Chat of the day, a little Truth or Dare for Wayne. Let's start out with Wayne's comment, then we'll play a little Truth or Dare, go from there. Wayne says, let's keep the train going with a Hawks win on Sunday. Wayne, couldn't have said better myself. Let's keep it going. Let's get to 7-3. Pivotal for this team to go to 7-3, and let's see them get that win. Trizzy, I think that with you being our guest today,
yeah,
I think it's only fitting you do the first one today. I'll give you the choice. You want to do a Truth or a Dare first?
I'll go Truth. I Man, Dare's a lot of fun, though.
It is.
Let's go Dare. I ain't scared. Let's do Dare.
Okay. All right. So I will pull up my list in real time here, folks.
For the record, I have no idea what any of these dares or truths are, so let's just see what happens.
Yeah, we're going to find this out in real time. Okay. Let's see here. All right. So here is the first dare for Trizzy.
Let's see it.
And there's another first-time super chat. We'll get to that
it.
here in just a second. All right. The first dare for you is do a freestyle rap.
Freestyle rap. All right.
Here we go, folks. Spam Trizzy in the chat.
This is going to be bad. Sitting on YouTube with the 12s. I love the Seahawks, but I hate the Elves. I ain't talking about the Browns. I ain't talking about Santa. Geno Smith is coming. Kyle Shanahan, you better get dancing.
There we go. Spam Trizzy. Spam Trace. That's good. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Not bad.
Good work with a little freestyle rap there. I'm all down for it. Another $5 super chat coming in, and this is a first-time super chatter, so we'll show you some love. Rona season of first-time super chatter for Rona.
Seahawks!
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 Let's go!
Let's go!
Let's go, Rona! Let's go, Rona! All right, so I'll go next. I think it's only fitting that this time we'll do truth.
Oh yeah.
Change it up a bit.
Naturally.
And play along if you like on this, Trizzy.
Let's do it.
Who was your first celebrity crush? I've had a lot of celebrity crushes over the years. Shout out Carrie Underwood.
Who, Carrie?
That'd be a very good choice. But my first one, probably as a kid, was the great Leanne Rimes.
Oh, she's great.
She's still great.
She still is great. Man, first celebrity crush. I don't want to say it was like this feels like an old one, but it's hard to beat Kate Upton, man. Like that,
Yeah.
I was a little bit older at that point,
Sure.
so she was around. But I'll say Kate Upton. I also had a really big thing for what's her name, Jennifer Aniston.
Oh yes,
Jennifer Aniston.
Jen
Woo!
still looks great too.
Oh, Jen's like a fine wine.
Absolutely.
She's only getting better with age.
What was your first celebrity crush? Tell us in the chat. I'm very curious. We probably have some good answers here. As I see Wayne is here, Larry, Mike, J-Dog. Beta YT, I'm sure, has a pretty good answer who his first celebrity crush is. There's the super chat menu today. You can already tell we're already having a great time today here on the channel. $10 in. We are $190 away from Das Booth. There's what we're offering on today's show. We reached 30 likes, so I have to do a little chug. In the meantime, we'll tell the folks what's coming up on today's show. We will go over the latest news and rumors for your Seattle Seahawks. Also, a little stock up, stock down. Who's hot, who's not for the Seahawks, and a little live Q&A action, hashtag Seahawks, or you can also super chat us to get on that Q&A mailbag. Good one from Rome, Alicia Keys.
Oh, that is a good one.
Meanwhile, Roy is a first-time super chatter for Roy.
Seahawks! Seahawks! Seahawks!
Let's go, Roy!
Let's go!
Let's go, Roy! Spam Roy in the chat.
Roy! Let's go, Roy!
Roy, thanks for that $10 super chat checking in. And so with that $10 super chat, not only did you get the Seahawks chant, I owe you a shot. We're going to the Patron Zone for this.
Woo!
And here it is. I got my shot glass in hand. I was at a bar over the weekend, and I got to tell you, it's been a while since I'd ordered a Patron shot outside of work. Patron, still not cheap.
Still not cheap. Not cheap, and it doesn't go down easy either.
No. So, to Roy and the Patron Zone, I'll answer this question before we take the shot. Then we'll get started with our first segment of the day. Go Seahawks. Geno, Tyler, DK, JSN, Bobo, our tight ends. and all our defense. Trace, Trizzy, I think that covers about everybody.
Just about. Hard not to cheers to that.
Cheers to Roy. First-time Super Chatter. He's ready to go. We're at $20. You guys are already making a statement, getting this show on the road. Let's go ahead and get started with our first segment, our news and rumors. We'll tell you the latest happenings on your Seattle Seahawks here, what you need to know on this Wednesday, and we'll begin with that coming up right now here on this live edition of Seahawks Today. Trizzy, we all set? We good to go? All right. Without further ado, segment one, news and rumors, starts right now. Coming up on this edition of Seattle Seahawks Today, Geno Smith speaks out as he addresses a big issue that's been on the minds of Seahawk fans. We'll tell you what he had to say. Also, the Jason Peters effect. One of the newest members of the Seattle Seahawks had a breakthrough performance this past weekend. What does his future look like? Will he be staying around? We'll dive into it. Also, Leonard Williams, who has made his name known already since the trade that brought him to the Seahawks a couple weeks ago. He's already feeling right at home. We'll tell you what he had to say and go over some numbers of his impact coming up in just a matter of moments. Every game day here on Seahawks Today, we spam S in the chat for a Seahawks win. It's our rallying cry. We get people fired up. We get on our feet ready to go. We want them to hear us all the way from Lumen Field to every opposing stadium. And so what I want you to do, if you want a Seahawks win, if you're ready for a victory on Sunday, spam S in the chat. I want to see as many S's as we can for a Seahawks win, and we'll get started with today's show. Geno Smith had a nice bounce-back performance this past weekend in the win against the Washington Commanders. We told you earlier in the week how Pete Carroll said that he felt like he played nearly perfect, especially in the second half. But there's been one issue in particular that's been on the minds of Seahawk fans all season long, and that has been the turnover problem. And Geno Smith, when speaking to the media this week, acknowledged what's going on there. Listen to this. For me and maybe some other players, I feel like I'm my own worst enemy sometimes. I'm pushing myself to be the best I can be, and sometimes that gets to me. By the way, My Own Worst Enemy, incredible song. If you don't have that on your Spotify, you're missing out on that. Anyways, back to the point of this. I like that Geno understands the assignment. That's the biggest flaw in his game. It's not the arm strength issue. It's not anything like that. It's not how he is as a leader. It comes down to the turnovers. That's been the biggest issue for him, that he needs to do a better job of taking care of the football. And this past week was a step in the right direction. Now, with that said, the numbers have not been good on the turnover front so far this year. He's at 9 so far this season, and so he's averaging about 1 turnover per game. 7 of those have been from interceptions, and 2 of those have been fumbles that he's lost. So that has been a problem that he's had to deal with. But think about this, okay, as far as last week and taking steps forward, not backward. That game was the first time since week number 4 that Geno did not commit a single turnover. So hopefully it is a sign of things to come. No guarantees. But at least it looks like that it was a big building block of some sorts, potentially speaking. The last 5 games for Geno Smith, to put this all into perspective here. Touchdown-interception ratio, not that great. 6 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Completion percentage, usually we're talking about Geno around 69 to 70%. That number is about 63% right now. So hopefully the best is yet to come, that Geno's turning a corner here, that the worst is behind him, but that remains to be seen. But at least he's acknowledging the biggest issue at hand here. Do you trust Geno? I'm very curious how the Trolls feel about that. Here we are, about to gear up for this second half of the season. Seahawks try to make this playoff push. What are you feeling right now? Give me your trust level. Y for yes, N for no. It's our pinned comment today. Weigh in, tell me what you think. Now, when I go out with an older woman, I'm reminded that age is just a number, right? Well, in the case of Seahawks offensive lineman Jason Peters, age has been just a number for him, as he's done a really good job since getting those opportunities, in particular this past weekend with the performance that he put together against the Washington Commanders. And now you wonder, okay, what does this mean for Jason Peters going forward beyond just this past week, as he's already used up all of his practice squad elevations that are possible here? Well, let's start off with what Pete Carroll had to say about Jason Peters here. He just played a really good football game. He did a very nice job. It was obvious his best play for us, and that's why we left him in. He had planned to split the time. We liked the way he was going, so we just kind of left him out there, and we're pleased to have him out there at the end and down the stretch. There was some concern about how his endurance would be staying out there because he hadn't played a lot in the last couple of weeks. This week was a chance to see him go, and he came through in a big fashion. And did he ever? We got some numbers to show you, and we'll also talk about his potential role for this Seahawks team in a moment. But before we do, let's tell you about today's sponsor, PrizePicks. Daily fantasy made easy. Here's how PrizePicks works, folks. You pick 2 or more players, and on any given category, you get the choice of more or less. Let's say you're talking passing yards, receiving yards. Maybe you want to mix up different sports, do a little NFL and NBA combo or some college football, whatever it may be. You can make some real cash on PrizePicks, and we're offering a $100 deposit bonus for first-time users at prizepicks.com/CLNS. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. If you've been playing along with us here on Seahawks Today, we have been cashing in on PrizePicks, and you better believe we're going to do so again this week. Here's how. I'm going with Kenneth Walker III to have more than 65.5 rushing yards this week against the Rams. Tyler Lockett to have more than 58.5 receiving yards this week against the Rams. And then we'll turn our attention to Monday Night Football. Isaiah Pacheco to have less than 59.5 rushing yards against the Philadelphia Eagles. I put $20 down on this. We're turning it into $100. Play along with me at home. PrizePicks.com/CLNS. Promo code CLNS. Link is in the comments and description of today's video. So here's the impact of Jason Peters, of what he did for the Seahawks team this past weekend. In 35 pass blocking snaps, only allowed 1 pressure, no sacks, and a pass block grade of 80.8. He was really damn good. And now, as we heard from Pete Carroll say a couple days ago, that they're kind of waiting to see, as far as Abraham Lucas' status, what that means for Jason Peters. For me, the bottom line is this. There's no way, after playing that well, that Jason Peters should not be around. He needs to be on this active roster. And here's the path to get him on that active roster to stick around going forward. This is what I would look at if I'm Pete Carroll and the Seahawks here. Curtis and O'Neal, a couple guys that could go down to the practice squad. Maybe Darrell Young goes back to IR after the injury he had. The wide receiver Darrell Young, who just got activated a couple days ago, and he's already hurt again. You can make this work. And there is a spot for him clearly, even with Abraham Lucas a part of the equation here. It is worth having Jason Peters around. And the biggest reason why, more than anything, is it's a great insurance policy. Look, I recently switched my insurance, started saving 15% and more, and the Seahawks can start saving well beyond that. They don't need a gecko to tell you that much. And that's what Jason Peters provides. Great insurance policy for this team. Whether Abraham Lucas is there or not, and with every passing day, we sit here and wonder, when's he coming back? Is he coming back? Jason Peters makes that feel a lot better. We saw that this past weekend. So, what do you think? Do you agree with me that Jason Peters needs to stick around? If so, type K for keep. If not, type D for don't. Let me know what you think in that comment section, if they should keep Jason Peters or not. Mr. Will.I.Am's Leonard Williams had an outstanding performance this past weekend in his debut at Lumen Field for the Seattle Seahawks. His first time there as a member of the Seahawks, his second game with the organization. And not only did Leonard Williams play extremely well, but he felt right at home with the 12s and the great crowd on Sunday afternoon. Here's what he had to say. It was pretty electric, not going to lie. On that 2-minute drive with the defense, I had to have Bobby Wagner scream in my ear what the play was because I literally couldn't hear anything. I love the energy. I love the atmosphere here. I love the team. It was a great first home game. And when you look at what Leonard Williams did this past week, he was making plays and creating havoc out of the 3 technique in ways that didn't even show up on the stat sheet. It didn't tell the full story of the impact that he had on this game and the difference that he made for the Seattle Seahawks team. His stats this past week against Washington, 4 tackles, 1 sack, 3 hurries. His PFF grade was 62.6, but if you go back and watch the film, there was a whole lot more than just what these analytics and these numbers say. And for me, I put it this way for Leonard Williams. He is the missing piece of what this Seattle Seahawks team was looking for. As we head into this week and the Seahawks take on the Los Angeles Rams, you go back to week 1. What did we talk about? That this was a huge problem for the Seahawks of when it came to getting after the quarterback and their pass rush and the issues in the front 7 there. Leonard Williams completes this defense, and it puts this team right where they need to be to compete with San Francisco here. I think that's the impact that we're talking about with Leonard Williams. The missing piece has arrived. He's already adapting quickly, and he's only going to get better from here. Now, at the time when the trade went down, I know some of you were upset, saying, that's too much to give up a 2nd and a 5th round pick for a 29-year-old defensive lineman. Hindsight being 2020, I'm going to give you another chance to correct your thoughts out there if you hated the trade. Grade the trade for Leonard Williams. I think it's a solid trade. I thought so at the time. I think so now. I'm still going with about a B+, quite frankly. What do you guys think? Weigh in that comment section. Tell me what you would grade now that Leonard Williams trade, and we'll see you next time right here on Seahawks Today. All right. One down. The Leonard Williams trade, A, B, C, D, or F. What do you guys think now that here we are a couple weeks in to that trade going down? Weigh in that comment section. Tell us what you think. Time in, the Buckeye says B. Trace, now a couple weeks later, not only kind of give perspective here on this, you've seen Leonard Williams play very well. He's grown accustomed to the Seahawks team, steps in the right direction. Mm-hmm. Yes, you did give up a 2nd and a 5th, but you still have 2 third-round picks in next year's draft, so that doesn't make it nearly as bad.
Yeah.
And then we also found out that the Seahawks only take on about $500,000 of his $12 million contract this year. They're not going to extend him right now. They'll probably wait till the season ends. Taking all that into account, I would say things still worked out pretty good for Seattle.
Oh, no doubt. I mean, you're paying this guy who is a good defensive lineman. Let's call it how it is. He's good. And you're not even paying him $1 million. You ain't even paying I guess it's 6 figures. You're not even paying 7 figures to a guy that is doing what he's doing.
Right.
And Leonard Williams is a good culture guy, too. I mean, he's a leader. He's a stud. I think he could be a really good addition to the Seahawks. And quite honestly, I'm with you. Going B+ at least.
Yeah, Ty Man, the Buckeyes says B. JV Games says B. Sydney says B. Carl B says keep Peters. And Daniel says B as well. So some of the early grades there on that one. Everybody kind of going B there. Later on, we're going to do a mailbag segment. And if you want to take part in that mailbag segment, then use hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat. And we'll share those questions, whatever questions you got. We'll get to them coming up later on in our mailbag segment. Right now, though, stock up, stock down. We'll go over some of the favorites and the not-so-great players as of late for your Seattle Seahawks. We'll break that down coming up in just a matter of moments. Super Chat menu. I know Super Chat's already been active today. People getting involved in the show. I want to see some more people get their chance to get seen on air and have a nice Wednesday afternoon with us. First-time Super Chatters, we'll do the Seahawks chant for you. $5 Super Chat, play a little truth or dare. $10, take a shot. $20, beer chug. $100, we'll do You'll be inducted in the Emerald Club. We get to $200 collectively. Then we'll take down a boot today. 3 beers and 1 as fast as we can. We're at $20 right now. It's about $180 away from that next mark. Right now, though, let's go ahead and get to stock up, stock down. We're going to break down about 6 different Seahawks who are trending the right direction and the wrong direction next here on Seahawks Today. All right. Without further ado, we will get rolling. Seahawks Today is presented by Manscaped. You can save 20% off and get free shipping at manscaped.com with the promo code Seahawks. We will tell you more about Manscaped coming up later on in the show. It is a stock up, stock down edition of the program, as we'll tell you who is trending the right direction and who is trending the wrong direction over the last few weeks heading into this weekend's matchup against the Los Angeles Rams. Before we do that, a little fan survey. Okay, I know that we have a ton of Seahawk fans in the great state of Washington, obviously. But what about elsewhere? Where are all the 12s at? If you're a Seahawk fan that's in the great state of Washington, hit the like button. If you are a Seahawk fan from somewhere else, let us know where it's at. Comment in the comment section. A little fan survey. Just want to gauge where our audience is at. Doing a little analytics research. Let us know. Stock up, of course, we had to start with the one and only, the man, the myth, the legend himself. Boye Mafe is the very definition of stock up right now, as he has been on a tear as of late. And he's doing things that we have never seen before from a Seattle Seahawks player, and stepping up to the plate with the absence of Uchenna and Wosu out for the year. Credit to Boye Mafe. He has answered the call and been what I thought he would be. I told you going into 2023 that he was going to be the best Seahawks pass rusher, but he's even taken a step further than that with the way that he's performed so far this year. As you know, last week made some history with being the first player in franchise history to have 7 straight games with a sack, which was just remarkable on his part to be able to do what he did there. But it's not a fluke by any stretch of the imagination. This is here to stay. And you look at the numbers this season, 7 tackles for loss, 10 QB hits, 32 tackles. And it's not even just what he does as a pass rusher. Boye Mafe is very good in run defense. He's very good in coverage. This guy is doing it all. And we are seeing something really just out of this world by Boye Mafe. I've been impressed. Hopefully it doesn't slow down. And the 12s, I think you got to be on your feet and just got to be thrilled by what we're seeing out of this guy right now. And I think he's got the potential, no cap, to go down as maybe the best pass rusher we've ever seen to put on a Seahawks uniform. He's doing this in only his 2nd year in the NFL. If this is what he's doing in year 2, what's he going to do in year 5? What do you think? Will Boye go down as the Seahawks' best pass rusher ever? Why for yes and for no? It may not be as crazy as you think. He's already breaking records in year 2. Pen comment today. Why for yes and for no? Let me know what you think. Now, stock down. You probably knew where I was going with this one. D. Eskridge is on our stock down list. And, you know, things were already bad for D. Eskridge, and somehow they've even gotten worse for this guy. Seattle activated a 7th-round receiver in Darrell Young over D. Eskridge this past weekend. That should tell you everything you need to know about the former 2nd-round pick D. Eskridge. That they rather play Darrell Young. Now Darrell Young's hurt, so we actually might see D get activated once again. But, I mean, it has been a tough last few months for D. Eskridge. Not only did the start of his career look just terrible the last 2 seasons, but he's only been active for 1 game this year, was suspended for the first games this season for violating the league's personal conduct policy after he was arrested on a misdemeanor after a confrontation with the mother of his child. D. Eskridge, I mean, it's bad enough that he's had these off-the-field issues and caused problems outside of the football field. But the fact that he's not even getting the production to be able to get on the football field is another problem. Why is he still here? Why is he still worth keeping around if he's going to cause this many issues here? Look, Seahawks have done a really good job drafting as of late, but we're going to look back at that second-round pick of D. Eskridge a couple years ago as one of the worst draft picks we've seen in the Pete Carroll, John Schneider era, and it's been disappointing, to say the least. More to come here on Seahawks Today, but first, let's tell you about today's sponsor, Manscaped. It's not a bird. It's not a plane. It's a ball trimmer sent from space. Gentlemen, our friends over at Manscaped have been working night and day to bring you a below-the-waist grooming experience like none other with their brand-new Lawnmower 5.0. Inside this package, you'll find the star of the show, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. Their fifth-generation trimmer features two changeable next-gen skin-safe blade heads, a standard one for taking a little off the top, and a new foil blade that goes smooth wherever your heart desires. Get 20% off plus free shipping with the promo code Seahawks at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with the code Seahawks at manscaped.com. I can promise you, you've never seen a ball trimmer that looks like a spaceship. Get yours today from our folks at Manscaped. Your balls will be thanking you later. Check it out. Stock up. Tyler Lockett has seen his stock go up. Remember this guy just a couple weeks ago was talking about early retirement in his 30s? And I know some of you get all pissy about, you guys just create rumors out of nowhere. This is something he brought up himself. We didn't create it. He said it. And now, fast forward to the way things have gone as of late, he looks as good as he ever has in his entire NFL career. He's playing very good football. And we know about the injuries that have gone on. You know, he's been a little more banged up, the last calendar year than typically in his career. But even playing through that, Tyler Lockett's been fantastic. In 9 games so far this season, you want to talk about consistency. Lockett has had 6 games with at least 4 total catches. He has done a really, really good job. And the numbers for Tyler Lockett, he's on a good pace right now to have potentially another 1,000-yard season with close to 500 yards. He's got 4 touchdowns. He's got more than DK. DK's got more yards, but he's got more touchdowns. Tyler Lockett's been good, and this has been a good 1-2 punch once again. And it begs the age-old question, who is the Seahawks wide receiver 1? Is it DK? Is it Tyler Lockett? My cop-out answer is that they are 1A, 1B. But I got to tell you, I still like that Tyler Lockett hasn't slowed down. Even with the addition of JSN and everything, credit to Tyler Lockett for getting the job done. Who is it? Is it DK? Is it Tyler? Chime in the comment section. Let us know. Back to stock down. Darrell Taylor is next on our list. And you talk about disappointment. Darrell Taylor has been just that for the Seahawks. We told you about the injury earlier, how well Boye Mafe has stepped up with what's going on with the departure of Uchenna for the season. And with that, it was a huge opportunity for Darrell Taylor to prove himself, to step up, take advantage of more playing time. And if we're going to be honest with you, this guy hasn't delivered. The nerd numbers from Pro Football Focus. Remember, this guy was the Seahawks' sack leader in 2022. 10 sacks total, more than anybody else. You know what he's done so far this year? He ain't done shit. His overall grade is 48.3 from PFF. His run defense grade is 45.3, and his pass rush grade is 54.2. The theme of sorts that you heard from the scouts about Darrell Taylor was, hey, he can get after the quarterback, but he's a liability when it comes to run defense and pass coverage. That's all he can do. And if we're going to be honest here, Darrell Taylor, for the opportunity that he's being given and the playing time as a starter once again, he's still not even going after the quarterback that much here. 4 QB hits, 2.5 sacks, that's it. Darrell Taylor's been a disappointment. And if the Seahawks need to play Derek Hall more, do something different, I am totally open to that, of taking away playing time from Darrell Taylor. Stock up, Devon Witherspoon. Stock continues to keep on going up. We told you about Manscaped in the rocket ship. Devon Witherspoon is the rocket ship right now. He's definitely using Manscaped, I can tell you that much. Look, I'm old enough to remember back before training camp when some of y'all were all pissy about him holding out about his contract, saying, "Oh, this was a terrible pick. We should trade him and all this." Some of y'all were like that. And now, fast forward, contract all got worked out. There were some injuries and all that. Didn't make the start of the season. And he looks like an elite corner. One of, if not the best corners, not just on this Seahawks team, but the entire NFL so far this year. Overall grade, 81.5. He's been good in run defense. Excellent in pass rush at 90.9. Coverage grade's been good. And you can play him everywhere. He's been good on the outside. He's been good in the slot, in the nickel. Just incredible, the job that Devon Witherspoon has done this season. I am so excited about Devon Witherspoon. This guy's just getting started. He's getting better each and every week. Watch out. Let's show some love to Devon Witherspoon. All of you that wanted him gone, this is your chance to apologize right now. Spam Spoon in the comment section. Show some love for Devon Witherspoon. Good vibes around here for Spoon in that comment section. Let him know. Last on our stock down list, Quandre Diggs. The stock has been down. Now, Quandre Diggs, we're all a big fan of. This is somebody that's been to multiple Pro Bowls, that's been one of the anchors, the heart and souls of this Seahawk defense for a long time now. But the truth of the matter, it's actually been a down year for Quandre Diggs. He's shown some flashes. We know what he did in the Giants game, and he looked good in that Bengals game. But I did not expect to be having this conversation at this point in the year where Quandre Diggs would not be performing to his full potential. We've seen him play inconsistent, and the numbers back this up too. His overall grade, 58. Yikes. Run defense grade. Yikes. Tackling grade. Yikes. Coverage grade, 61.7. A little bit better. Not ideal. Not what I was expecting from Quandre Diggs with those numbers. He does have an interception. He did have that great play against the Giants there, but it just hasn't been Quandre Diggs' year at this point. Now, we've seen some guys, the way that safety room is still adapting of sorts of playing three safeties at a time. Julian Love had a rough start to the year, but he's kind of turned a corner. Jamal Adams just looked really good. Maybe it's a scheme thing. They have to figure out more. But I'm not worried about Quandre Diggs. We know that he's a good football player, that he'll turn things around. If you enjoyed today's show, we'll stock up, stock down. Hit the like button. And we'll see you next time right here on Seahawks Today. All right. We have one more segment to get to. It is our Q&A mailbag. Use hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get on the mailbag segment. Well, let's ask you, who is wide receiver one? Is it DK or is it Tyler? Matthew says it is Tyler. He says Lockett is number one. Who is that guy? Chime in that comment section. Let us know what you think. It's interesting, Trizzy, because JVB says DK. Both these guys play completely different roles, and to their credit, I think that they've done a good job of keeping their egos in check. They're both very good teammates. They complement each other.
Absolutely. You don't get dominant performances from both of these guys individually. They don't have good chemistry and they don't work well together. To be quite honest, I'd like to type dealer just because they're both right. I think they're both great.
Matthew says Tyler has earned it. Cookie says Tyler for sure. Bryson says Tyler. Wayne says Jake Bobo. That's not the correct answer, but we do love Jake Bobo around here, nonetheless. Q&A mailbag coming up next. Hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat. And Trizzy, I think we could use some more questions.
Oh, no doubt. We only have a couple of questions, and quite honestly, unless we get more, we can't do it. So if you guys want more content, we need more questions. And I will say this. If you Super Chat, you skip the line. You spend a little extra time on your question.
Yeah. I see Matthew's got a question in there. Matthew's got a couple questions in there. Who else got questions for us for our mailbag segment? Carlos, Wayne, Bryson, who else? Send those in. Hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat. And could be a take, could be a question, whatever you got. We'll throw it on. And if you think of something as the live show is going along here, then we can throw that in as we're going through this mailbag. That's another way to get involved as well. So hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat, and we'll get those in.
We still need more questions, so keep them coming.
Gaming, Matt Landers is not around, but Trissy's a big Matt Landers guy.
Woo Pig, Arkansas legend, Matt Landers. He was pretty good at college. Can't really say the same thing about the NFL, though.
Yeah, he looked good in the preseason.
Short-lived, but, who knows?
He might be back.
Who knows? Hopefully.
Let's see. Matthew, there we go. Peter's got a question in there. Good stuff, Peter. Who else? Wayne's got another question. Okay. Got a couple more for you. While we wait, let's show them that Super Chat menu. If you need any incentive besides just getting your question on the mailbag and in the front of the line, here is our Super Chat menu today for the 12s out there. First-time Super Chatters will do the Seahawks chant. $5 Super Chat, we'll play a little Truth or Dare. $10, we'll take a shot. $20, do a little beer chug. $100, we will induct you into the Emerald Club. We'll answer all your questions coming up in just a matter of moments for that mailbag segment. And we get to $200. The boot can happen, although we're a ways from that right now. We're at $20, but I've seen crazier things done before. So if you guys want to get in on that, there is your opportunity to do so. Vank and XR Gaming, you got to use hashtag Seahawks for Super Chat. I see you got some good questions in there, but we can't throw them on screen. Trace can't pull them up unless you do that. So copy and paste that in and just throw in the hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat. We'll take care of you. All right. Looks like we got enough to get started. And we have more along the way, then we'll take more. But yeah, let's do that. All right. Without further ado, mailbag time here on Seahawks Today. Let's go ahead and get after it with your questions here on this Wednesday afternoon. Thanks for spending it with us. One of the elite clubs of Seahawks Today is the Noti Gang. That is the folks that have their notifications turned on and never miss a single moment, a single video of Seahawks Today. Whether we go live or we have breaking news, you are the first to find out about it when you turn on your notifications. So, Seahawks fans, stay alert, stay up to date. What's going on with your favorite team? Turn on that Noti bell for the latest happenings. Join the Noti Gang. Spam Noti Gang if you're part of the Noti Gang in the comments section. We'll get started with today's show. First question comes from Niners Stank. I like it. Are you concerned that we haven't seen much of Frank Clark yet? So Niners Stink, it's very interesting you bring that up. And the short answer is yes. Let me explain why. So let's go back to the offseason. Frank Clark goes to the Denver Broncos after a very successful tenure with the Kansas City Chiefs, where he played a pivotal role alongside Chris Jones there in that Chiefs defense. Goes to Denver. He and Sean Payton weren't on the same page. There was some conflict there. Ends up third string, wasn't happy, demands his way out. What do you know? Gets released, all that, ends up in Seattle. Well, now the Seahawks don't have Uchenna Nwosu. There was a clear opportunity for Frank Clark to earn significant playing time. And I know some of you may say, well, it's only been a couple weeks. Well, Leonard Williams is already on the field in a significant role. Why is Frank Clark not in a significant role? That tells me that Frank Clark, there's something off right now. Not saying he can't overcome it, but there's a clear need, an opportunity for him to be on the field. And it's not like Darrell Taylor's playing that well either, and he hasn't taken advantage of it. So, yes, I am concerned, and it makes me wonder, was it a mistake to bring in Frank Clark if you're not even going to get that much out of him? Maybe it's too early, but what do you guys think? Chime in that comment section. Y for yes, in for no. Our pinned comment today, was it a mistake to bring in Frank Clark? Let us know what you think. Geno Truther writes in, hashtag Seahawks. Is Geno Smith the right guy to take the Seahawks far this year? Geno Truther, it's a great question when you talk about Geno Smith, because we have seen so far in 2023, it has been a season of peaks and valleys for Geno. He's had moments where he's been awesome in the fourth quarter and led some great comebacks, like what we saw in the Lions game last week against the Commanders. And then there's been other times where he just has not played well. Case in point, that Baltimore Ravens game a couple weeks ago. And, I'll say this. If we're comparing him to the other options at the moment, the answer is yes. I'm trusting him more than Drew Lock or any free agent quarterback out there or anything like that. You're not going to be better off with somebody else. Now, the long-term plan, I do think the Seahawks are going to draft a quarterback in this April's draft and have their quarterback for the future. Geno's not the long-term answer, the long-term solution. But at least for the short term, the best chance for the Seahawks to make a deep playoff run for this year, for this time in the present, is still Geno Smith. That has not changed. And so, Geno, maybe you don't have a ton of confidence in him, but you're not going to get any better than what you have in Geno Smith. And say what you want. I know that he's been a turnover machine at times, but he's been a winner, and he's been clutch in some big moments in these past 2 years. So, Geno, we're riding and dying with Geno Smith this season, no matter what. What's your confidence level in Geno? Scale it for me in the comments section, 1 through 10. How do you feel about the Seahawks quarterback right now? Weigh in, tell me what you think. Today's show is sponsored by PrizePicks. PrizePicks, daily fantasy made easy. Here's how PrizePicks works. You choose more or less on any given category of some of your favorite players in the National Football League, including your Seattle Seahawks. This week, I'm rolling with Kenneth Walker to have more than 65.5 rushing yards. Tyler Lockett to have more than 58.5 receiving yards. And Isaiah Pacheco to have less than 59.5 rushing yards. If all three of these play out for me, let's say I throw down $20, that's going to pay out $100. You can play along at home too. Get a $100 deposit match at prizepicks.com/CLNS. That's promo code CLNS to play along with us today. You'll be glad you did. Check out PrizePicks, proud partner of Seahawks Today. Bryson writes in, when do you think it's time for Bobby Wagner to retire? Whenever he's ready to retire, Bryson. I think that based on Bobby coming back at a discount. Remember, he could have taken more money elsewhere. He could have, quite frankly, gone to a better team than the Seattle Seahawks. But he comes to Seattle, takes less money. He wants to be here. And he's had an incredible year this season. He has not shown any letdown at all. I don't think Bobby's retiring anytime soon. Now, I don't think that the Seahawks are necessarily going to give him the farm to stay long term, but I do expect him to retire a member of the Seahawks. I think he's still got at least a couple seasons left in him. With that said, it doesn't mean the Seahawks shouldn't start thinking about their future of finding a young middle linebacker of sorts that can play under Bobby, that can be groomed to take over that role eventually. But at least I would be surprised if Bobby doesn't go at least another couple more years. Teddy G, I think Quandre Diggs gets cut when the season is over. So the Seahawks restructured Quandre Diggs' deal before the season began. And I got to say, the way that he's played right now as of late has not been that good, if we're going to be quite frank with you. We know that Quandre Diggs is capable of playing at a high level. We've seen it even this year against the Bengals, the Giants. He played very well. But for the most part, it's been a down year for Quandre Diggs. You go back to last year, he really turned it on in the second half of the season, really got things going. With that said, I don't know if we've seen the last of Quandre Diggs. I think kind of like Bobby, he wants to be here, so maybe you can get him to take a pay cut of some sorts. But the more that he struggles does make his future uncertain for next year and beyond. Wayne writes in, what is the greatest need in the 2024 draft? Smitty and I were talking about this the other day. And although the Seahawks have made big investments at getting younger with what they've done the last couple of seasons, they've done a really good job drafting. There is still some obvious things that need to be fixed long term. One of those is the quarterback position. That's still the biggest. Geno's not your long-term solution. You got to go get another quarterback. Defensively, we mentioned guys like Bobby, Quandre Diggs, and Jamal Adams, and others aren't spring chickens. So you got to start thinking about their replacements down the line. Jaron Reed, as good as he's been, a nice free agent signing. He's not so young either. You got to start thinking about those replacements, getting younger at those positions down the line, and at least getting those guys ready to take over those roles. Matthew, 3 players I want to see more of. Derek Hall, Jarek Reed, and, more Bobo. First off, we all want more Bobo. The fact that in that Ravens game he only had 9 snaps was just ridiculous. But, yes, more Bobo. Jarek Reed, who are you going to take off the field? I like Jarek Reed. I think he's got a lot of potential, but, I mean, who do you take off? Somebody's got to go then. Is it Julian Love? Is it Quandre Diggs? Is it Jamal Adams? I mean, the truth of the matter is Jarek Reed's not better than any of those 3 guys. So you may want to see him play, but who are you going to sacrifice at that? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Derek Hall, yes. I'd be very okay with giving the rookie more playing time. Haven't liked what I've seen from Darrell Taylor. Give Derek Hall a shot. Why not? Nice little thunder and lightning combo with him and a Boye Mafe there. Caleb, how do you think it's looking like for Lockett to stay for the next couple of years? Well, we were talking within the last couple of weeks. Tyler Lockett's already using the R word, retirement, that R word. And so I don't think that he's looking to play a long time. I think he wants to retire a Seahawk. It'd be great to see him in one uniform the whole time. But I would expect that comes at a cost of, taking a pay cut of some sorts. Eventually, we would be looking at JSN taking over his role at some point here. There's a lot of dominoes that would still need to fall. I do expect him to retire a Seahawk and play a couple more seasons, but I would be surprised if he gets all of the money that's currently in his contract at the moment. JVB says, if there was only one position that you could improve, which position would it be? Well, I was hounding for months about that Seahawks need to improve the front 7, in particular that defensive line, and they took care of that. So now, where do they necessarily go from here? The biggest improvement for me is I want Abraham Lucas back in the football field. And I know Jason Peters played well this past week. Did a really good job there. But the best solution for this Seahawks team is getting Abraham Lucas healthy and get him back on the football field. That's the biggest improvement this team could use right now is having Abe Lucas back out there. That's what I want to see. Last question. Raw Hector. Good to see you, Raw Hector. If the Seahawks go 3-5 the rest of the way, is that enough to make it into the playoffs? If so, what seed? All right. So let's do a little quick math here. Seahawks are 6-3. They're going 3-5. That puts them at 9 wins, 5 more losses. That's 9-8 at that point. It might be enough to get the 7 seed, potentially speaking. We've seen the Vikings are playing a lot better football as of late. The Saints are in good position to win that division, but you have some other teams there, and there's still a lot to play out necessarily. I think your magic number, if you're Seattle, the goal for this team should be 11 wins. If you get 11 wins, there's a pretty good chance you walk away with the division title. And if not, you're going to be the highest wild card team at the number 5 ranking. To me, that should be the number to hit on. Get to 11. I know the second half of the schedule's tough, but it is within reach. I think that's what you're looking at. 9, if you stumble in at 9-8, history tells us being a 7 seed doesn't play out too well for 7 seeds. I think you need to try to do what you can. 11 is that magic number to hit. For more Seahawks coverage, subscribe to Seahawks Today. Turn on notifications so you never miss a moment. We'll see you next time right here on the channel. All right. So that is it for our segments today here on Seahawks Today. What is your confidence level in Geno Smith right now? Scale it for me 1 through 10 and let us know how you think. Trizzy, it's like a two-edged sword here because, Geno sure has turned over the football a lot and played inconsistent. But this guy knows how to win a football game. He's been clutch.
Yeah, man. I mean, Geno Smith is one of those guys where I'm not going to say I wanted to say kind of like a Jameis Winston kind of guy where it's like, man, it's going to be fun watching him play, but you're going to get some really good, some really bad football. But it's not that to that extent. I think Winston is not nearly as good as Geno Smith. I just think Geno is a great guy to have right now until you get that franchise guy that you draft.
Stopgap quarterback.
Yeah, he's your stopgap. Exactly that. What do you guys think? What's your confidence level?
Yeah. What's your confidence level? Mine is at a 7 right now. Matthew says a C. Caleb says 8. Bradley says 5. Where's your confidence level at right now? Weigh in. Tell us in that comments section what you think it is. All right, so we're almost about done here. Peter says 6. Here's what we'll do. We're going to put the Super Chat menu back on, and I'm going to turn the shot clock on. We'll give you a minute. Super Chat at any amount. We stay live. We can hang out. Tracy and I can have a good time with the 12s. We can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. Or we can sign off, and we can call it a day. It's up to you guys. Wayne has an 8 for Geno, his confidence level there. That is what we're offering the Super Chat menu today. First-time Super Chatters will Seahawks chant. $5, play Truth or Dare. $10, take a shot. $20, do a beer chug. $100 gets you in the Emerald Club. And we get to $200. The boot is happening. Right now, we're at $20 collectively. Shot clock is on right now. 1 minute remaining on the clock. Last chance to get on the show here. Tracy, what do you got going on this weekend, man? What's with your Saints here?
So I do want to say, first of all, shout out to the 12s. I apologize that we went early. I have a family dinner I have to get to tonight, so I want to apologize for that. Just going to say that. That's on me. That being said, in terms of like the Saints and shit, they're really bad. They're not going to be good anytime soon. And fire the whole coaching staff. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. So, Seahawks fans, if you ever like, man, I wish the Seahawks were doing better. At least you're not the Saints. At least you ain't the Giants.
You're getting the full Dennis Allen, Derek Carr experience.
Yes. I thought that the Derek Carr experience would be different. I am not enjoying the Derek Carr experience. I would like a different experience. Soon, please. I wish we had Geno, man. Like, come on. At least Geno's fun to watch. Like, he's gonna keep you in at least a little bit engaged in the game.
Probably a hot take. I honestly think you guys would be better off with Jameis.
I do too. The team, like, they're more fun with Jameis. And if you're gonna play bad football, at least make it fun to watch. Jameis is fun to watch because he's gonna throw you a 60-40 ball that somehow will go to the receiver, and it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it's interesting. The NFC, the Eagles are the team to beat. I think everybody would agree with that.
Yep.
Even your most biased Seahawks fans, I think, would acknowledge that. But all it takes is an injury or two or something, and then I think we're talking about Seattle, San Francisco, Dallas, maybe even Minnesota now, right there. Like it's Philly, and then I think it's about 4 teams right there.
No, well, and especially to your point of the Vikings, I mean, they look good. They just went on a 5-game win streak without Justin Jefferson. So
Joshua Dobbs looks good.
Josh Dobbs looks awesome. Josh Dobbs looks so good. And I'm really upset he torched my Saints. But, hey, what are you going to do?
We'll sign off. Guys, thanks for hanging out with us here on the program today. We're going to be live coming up on Sunday for our Seahawks watch party as they get things going. Should be a fun game against the LA Rams. We'll get things started about an hour prior to kickoff. Smitty's going to be back here fresh off a little early Thanksgiving vacation. We will see you then. He's Trizzy Trace. Thanks for hanging out with us today, my guy. Always a pleasure.
Always. Thank you for having me. Thank you, 12s, for having me as well.
We'll see you on Sunday. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.